morning. I'm Carol Costello, live in Las Vegas from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, the site of tonight's high-stakes showdown. Tonight is the third and final presidential debate. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump about to trade their last punches face-to-face. They will make their closing arguments to the American voter. And make no mistake, many will tune in tonight to see the blood. Trump desperate to rescue his campaign. He may be more unpredictable than ever. Will he continue his scorched earth tactics? And Clinton is scrambling to contain damage of her own. She has faced a constant drove of embarrassing emails supposedly they were stolen from that morning. Let's begin inside the debate hall with CNN's Manu Raju. Good morning, Manu.
Hey, Carol. Yeah, this is Donald Trump's last and perhaps best chance of turning around his campaign after one of the rockiest months of his campaign season, or of any presidential candidate in recent memory. He's seen a number of allegations, of course, come out suggesting that he had performed unwanted sexual advances on women. Of course, he denied flatly all those allegations. In addition, this bitter fight with his own party and two rocky debate performances himself, and poll after poll has borne that out, including in Arizona today, a traditionally Republican state, showing Hillary Clinton winning that state by 5 points as of right now. So Donald Trump is trying to make the case that the system is stacked against him and that this election is rigged.
They've rigged it from the beginning by telling totally false stories, most recently about phony allegations where I've been under attack constantly.
I've always felt that everything we can do to get people to vote, we should do it. He obviously is in a different school than I am. He wants people not to vote. I just think it's so untoward for him to try to scare people into elections that are rigged.
Now, the question is, how does Hillary Clinton address that tonight? Expect her to push back pretty forcefully on that issue. And how else does Hillary Clinton deal with this constant stream of revelations that keep coming out from WikiLeaks, who has accessed thousands of her emails, internal campaign emails, some of which painting her campaign in a very controversial from WikiLeaks, who has accessed thousands of her emails, internal campaign emails, some of which painting her campaign. How do they deal with this in this huge debate stage, the last best chance for Donald Trump to turn around his campaign as well?
All right, Manu Raju reporting live for us this morning. Thanks so much. So let's talk about all of this. With me now, Jason Johnson, politics editor of TheRoot.com, CNN political commentator Rebecca Berg. She's also a national political reporter for Real Clear Politics, and CNN politics executive editor Mark Preston. Welcome to all of you. Such a lot to talk about. So, Mark, I want to start with you. This is the last chance that these candidates have to present their vision to the American people. Will we really get into that vision thing tonight?
You know, one could hope that will happen tonight, but it's very unpredictable, you know, specifically since we saw what happened during the last debate. As you said, we're talking about 50 million people, maybe 60 million people watching tonight. This is the last time they're going to be on stage together. This is the last time that Donald Trump can try to take down Hillary Clinton, call into question, you know, her capability of being commander-in-chief, calling in her judgment, and talking about policy proposals. The same thing with her as well. She can call into question his temperament, and if she can land some blows tonight and walk out of here with a tie, that would be a win for her. But Donald Trump, if he comes in and talks about policy, I think that will be, you know, be a big victory for him.
But all the signs Rebecca, is that Donald Trump may not talk about policy. Brian Stelter and Brooke Baldwin, they talked to Steve Bannon on the plane coming into Nevada. He's Trump's one of his campaign advisors, I should say. Right. Scorched earth policy, right? They're inviting people that might shake Clinton again to the debate. For example, Mrs. Patricia Smith, she lost her son in Benghazi. And just to remind people of who that is, this is Mrs. Smith.
For all of this loss, for all of this grief, for all of the cynicism, the tragedy in Benghazi has wrought upon America, I blame Hillary Clinton. I blame Hillary Clinton personally for the death of my son.
Okay, so actually, maybe it's a good thing that Mrs. Smith is sitting in the audience because this is an important topic to many Americans. But Donald Trump has to talk more about how Hillary Clinton's policies went wrong there over just saying, here's Mrs. Smith, look, isn't she going to shake you?
And you know, it isn't only about attacking Hillary Clinton for Donald Trump. Obviously, that's a very important component, but Hillary Clinton still isn't vastly popular, even as she's winning this race right now. The big problem for Donald Trump is the way that voters view him. This recent Fox News poll that came out showing Hillary Clinton ahead by 7 points, I think, was just devastating for him. It showed only 1/3 of voters trust his temperament, only 1/3 of voters trust his judgment over Hillary Clinton. These are really damaging metrics if you're trying to run for president and make the case that you are fit for the presidency. So that's I think the case that Donald Trump is going to need to make, but he hasn't been making it, Carol, over the past week or two. Instead, he's been focusing on conspiracy theories, basically laying the groundwork for why he might lose this election. And that message doesn't really bode well if you're trying to win.
Another guest, Jason, that Mr. Trump has invited is President Obama's half-brother, who is no fan of President Obama, by the way. But President Obama's not running.
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense to me, Carol. These brand new surprise guests, like we're on some morning talk show or whatever. Look, this is a presidential debate. You're not swinging hey, batter, batter. You're not trying to mess up a free throw. He needs to be focused on the person he's actually debating on stage. And I think Donald Trump's biggest challenge tonight, he spent the last couple of weeks doing the scorched earth policy. He can still sell himself. Donald Trump needs to spend more time saying, hey, look, this is why I'll make America great again, rather than attacking Hillary Clinton. The more time he spends attacking her, the less time he has to make his case for the United States, because early voting's already started and he's behind.
Okay, so we have a little tiny bit of sign that maybe Hillary Clinton is going to remain positive tonight because her campaign released a new ad, and it's titled Positive Play for Everyone. Let's listen.
This is not an ordinary time, and this is not an ordinary election. I want to send a message to every boy and girl, and indeed to the entire world, that America already is great, but we are great because we are good. Lift each other up. I want us to heal our country and bring it together.
Okay, so Mark, you remember during the last debate, Hillary Clinton said, when they go low, we go high, but she went low in that debate. So is she going to stay on message and not respond to Donald Trump's attacks?
So I'll put this in sporting terms. This is where you play prevent defense. If you're winning the game, you don't want to necessarily lose. You're willing to give up a touchdown here or there. But basically, again, a tie is a win for Hillary Clinton tonight in the eyes of voters that are going to matter.
What would a tie mean? That she just stands on the stage and listens to Donald? Is that, I mean, what is a tie?
A tie would mean that Donald Trump doesn't come out and land a serious blow on her on the emails where she doesn't have the right answer, where she doesn't have the right answer on the FBI, State Department, supposedly quid pro quo, which we know it isn't, but still, it is definitely in the lexicon right now. It's her coming up with the right answer and, quite frankly, delivering a vision that she did in that ad at the same time now, trying to be a little bit more likable to the voters, because that's a big problem for her.
And really, Republicans have taken away a major talking point for Donald Trump in this debate. Marco Rubio came out and said his party should not be talking about these emails released by WikiLeaks because they're acting on behalf of the Russians. And
it could happen to the Republicans.
It could happen to Republicans at some point. And so that's going to really detract, I think, potentially from Donald Trump's argument. He has been trying to raise this issue, and now Hillary Clinton will be able to say, well, look at what this senator from your own party is saying.
Well, the other thing is it's very hard to explain in a concise way.
Right. The issue with the emails all along, at least from my perspective, I think a lot of regular, undecided voters is like, show me where this is a problem. If there was an email where Hillary Clinton said, go ahead and let the soldiers suffer in Benghazi, if there was an email that led to, people being captured, if it was some Mission Impossible knock list where our soldiers or spies were caught, then we could see why the emails make sense. But basically, it just feeds into the idea that she's a typical politician, which everyone felt anyway. So I don't think Trump has made much mileage with it, and as long as he spends time attacking her instead of selling himself, it's a loss.
But Carol, let me just say this on the emails, though. If it was somebody else who was the Republican nominee, these emails would be devastating for her.
Right.
Only because, there is this line that, do as I say, not as I do. And that has been the Clinton mantra since, they've been in public life. And that really does frustrate people. If Donald Trump wasn't the nominee, if Marco Rubio was the nominee, I do think the emails, would be problematic.
All right, I have to leave it there. Jason, Rebecca, Mark, thanks so much. Coming up in the newsroom, we'll have live coverage throughout the day of tonight's presidential debate. Coverage begins at 4 p.m. Eastern. Be sure to watch the debate 9 p.m. Eastern right here on CNN. I almost forgot the CNN plug. I would have been in big trouble. Coming up in the news, there are policies, but will style win out, or will substance? We'll talk about that next.
Brexit.